Hi, welcome back. I hope this finds you well. Today I want to talk about my bombshell reveal. Last year, during the summer, after the murders and after identifying and eliminating narcissistic and toxic people from my life, I still didn't know what I was dealing with. Someone close to me introduced me to the term narcissism and narcissist. And that was a big eye opener for me. I was like, what's that? And they sent me some articles and referred me to some resources, and I binge educated myself on narcissism and narcissistic abuse. And it was such an eye opener for me. With that knowledge, I was able to identify even more narcissistic and toxic people in my life and eliminate them as well. Then I took a hosting workshop in Los Angeles and I stayed with a friend. We were outside swimming on a beautiful night, having drinks and catching up on life. And she asked me, what do you think it is with you and these narcissists? Like, what's going on with that? And I said, I don't know. And she said, well, what do you think's going on with your career? What do you feel like is holding you back? And I said, well, I don't know, fear. And she says, fear of what? Well, fear of failure, fear of success. I don't know. Not wanting to end up like my dad. She's like, well, what about your dad? Well, he was bitter and, he's angry at everybody and blaming everybody. And, oh my God, my dad was a narcissist. Oh my gosh. And so was my Nana. Like my whole life came into focus with incredible clarity, and everything made sense that I had been through from childhood up until that point. So we were treading water on the deep end, and I literally almost went under because I was so overwhelmed. And I just started crying, and I was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And she's like, well, now you know, boo. And I was like, I guess I do. And from that point, I was able to identify narcissistic and toxic people, not only in my own life, but also in other people's lives around me. And even my friend who I was with, I said, I think your man's one too. And turns out she tested him and he revealed himself as well. So it's really been quite the journey, let me tell you. And I had a conversation I went back to my mom and went back to my brother and had conversations with them too. I was like, do you guys realize what we were dealing with all this time? And just so much made sense. The behavior, the dynamics, the rage, just the energy in the house, the fear, the walking on eggshells, everything made sense. And I still have continued to educate myself. And I've had to do a lot of healing. I've had to do a lot of grieving. And I've had to have a lot of hard talks. My father and my grandmother are no longer living. And so I've had to reconcile a lot of things from my childhood. And I've had to do a lot of deep work in terms of forgiveness, in terms of healing from all of that toxicity, in terms of really facing the truth and embracing it and forgiving them for their behavior and what they put me through. And also even my mom, forgiving my mom for exposing me to this toxic pocket of my family and that behavior. I knew that something was off growing up, and I remember having lunches with my aunt and venting to her about the things that I saw in the family, like, what's going on? Why isn't anybody talking about this? Why isn't anybody calling out the behavior or calling out the substance abuse or calling out the dysfunction and all of that stuff? And she really didn't have any answers for me, but she was really one of the only people who was willing to sit and listen to me, which I appreciated. It really has helped me tremendously in terms of being able to process everything or finish processing everything, because I knew stuff was off even as a high school student and even as a college student and a young adult. But being able to piece everything together, put a name to it, and really reconcile all of that has been just amazing for me and incredibly healing on my journey. I want to be able to help you with that as well. I really want to break this stuff down in detail. I'm a very detail-oriented person, and I really want to be able to put specifics to it, specific vocabulary, and identify, and also really dig into some of the nuances and some of the subtleties of narcissistic abuse that are really hard to pinpoint if you don't know what you're dealing with or who you're dealing with, if you are unable to come up with the words to describe it to someone who is completely unfamiliar. So I hope that this helps you. I hope this encourages you. You are not alone, and you're not crazy. Know who you're dealing with, know who you are. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.